Which version of wait? This version is
It's
actually different from mine.
8.8.1. Yes, this is actually for Windows 8 because my operating system is on Windows 8. So I think this is an
Okay.
earlier version.
Yeah. So okay,
So
I
some of
understand.
these opening and closing, some of them I do it
Okay.
manually. So
Okay.
it's a
That's
little,
actually the reason. The
yes, a little
version
slower.
is not an updated version. That's why. Yeah.
So okay, while we're here, please,
Yeah.
in our module 4.2, I noticed while we're doing the what was it, the div class.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
I can see your yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, in the div class, I was trying to put in the sample sentence
Okay.
on so the place you put lorem ipsum. It wasn't clear how you got it. After about
Oh,
us, yeah,
that's
you didn't
okay.
explain how you got it. So
That's so I didn't get it from anywhere. It was
okay,
just a demo content, right? It's a demo content to create. Yeah, it's just a demo content. You can get it anywhere.
how do I,
If you go to Google and
okay.
just search Lauren, yeah, Epsilon generation text. Go to Google right now.
So
Lauren Epsilon.
how did you put it in there inside after our p tag?
You just copy and paste.
Was that what you did?
Yes, that's what I did.
Okay.
So you just copy the text and put it inside. It's not there's no magic to that. It's
Okay,
just
so it's just a sample text. It doesn't matter. It mustn't
yeah,
be
yes. You can put
okay.
anything there. Yeah,
Anything.
it's not it
Okay,
doesn't matter. So
like
what the P tag is doing,
my name is Emeka. Can work.
yeah,
Understand what I
yeah,
mean?
yes.
Okay. Because I was wondering if you generated it specially. I've tried typing the first letters to see if it will pop up
Oh
from all that.
no. It's not part of the tags.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's not part of
okay.
the tags. Yeah, when you see anything that opens curly brackets
Yeah,
with something closing, that's the tags. Those are the
yeah,
recognized tags.
yeah.
Yeah. And the
Okay.
resources I shared to you on the
Yeah,
group,
yeah.
that will give you more insight into so many other tags that you have not encountered that I did not
Oh,
mention in the videos that you
okay,
can play with.
okay,
There are still
okay,
so many tags that can be used,
okay,
in
okay.
HTML. You understand? But because of our time, we need
Mm,
to, make it
okay,
faster and just treat the most important ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I think I'm cool now with these
Okay.
explanations. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
How's
so
your
much.
mini project going? Have you started?
Let's say yes. No problem
Okay,
so
good,
far.
good.
Yeah.
I'm eager to know what you guys will come up with. No problem.
No
I'm not
problem.
even looking for the best design. I just
Yeah.
want you to apply the knowledge of what you have learned, so
Okay.
far. Apply the colors, how you can match the colors together and all of
Yeah.
that. That's what I just want to say. Yeah.
Yeah. No problem
Yeah,
so far.
yeah. So you can stop sharing your
All
screen
right.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yeah,
much. All right.
yeah. Is there anyone else? Questions? I'm open to answer questions. Any concerns? Hi, Eunice. Adeboye Joshua. Are you here?
I'm here, sir, but I'm in a very noisy place. That's what I'm saying.
Huh?
I'm in a very noisy place like right now. I don't know
Oh,
what to do.
okay. I just want to know if you guys have concern or you are good, right? That's what
So,
this meeting is for, just to discuss, any concerns and all of that. Yeah.
for now, there is no problem.
What do you say?
There is no problem for now.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Yeah. Um, I'm actually expecting someone that asks the question in the group to join this meeting. I don't know why she's not here right now, right? Is it Precious, right? I don't know if she's in this meeting right now. Um, this is when I expect her to come up with any concerns that she has. But if she's in the meeting, she should please just yeah. Prince Diego, how are you doing? Do you have any questions? And who can I see on this call too? Petra, Moses, Bolu, Ebube. Yeah. So I would just assume that we are all good, right? Please signify. Let me know somebody's hearing me, please. All right.
Yeah, good evening, sir. I'm hearing
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Good evening. How are you doing? Yeah. Do you have any
Fine, sir.
questions
How
for
is
me?
today?
Any concerns? Yeah. My day is fine. And yours?
Yeah, it went well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have a little concern.
Okay.
Is
Yeah. Can you shoot, please?
the mode 4. Let me share the screen.
Okay.
Are you seeing it here?
Yeah. Not yet. Have you shared the screen? Maybe it's still loading.
Yeah, I think. Are you seeing it now?
Not yet. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can see it now. Yeah. I can see it now.
Okay,
Okay. Good.
sorry.
Okay.
Okay, should I continue?
Yeah. You can continue. You can fly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let me find the place that I have the least problem. Yes, is around here. Can you see it?
I can't see it. You have to maximize your try and maximize the player.
Okay.
No, you do that on that YouTube. Just go to see that icon that looks like expanding under the video you have.
Okay. Yeah, here is the icon.
Yeah, yeah. Just go down a little bit. If just put your mouse on a hair, just go down a little bit. You see where you see that caption CC. Can you see CC
Yeah.
down? Can you see settings
Yes.
beside it? Then you see an arrow
Yes.
that points down. That's expand. That's next to it
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. Click. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's just this padding top.
Okay.
I didn't know how you came about it. Can you put me through?
Okay. So this particular aspect is majorly um to increase your let me call it like a spacing item. Like if I say a spacing item, I mean something that helps you to shift elements from one place to another. Now, we have the padding to be the inside element that helps us to shift any elements in the inside of our container. Then you have the margin to be the one that shifts it on the outside part, right? So there are different attributes that you can use and the values that you can use to do all these things, right? So if you see me write padding top, padding right, padding bottom, padding left, padding something, right? All I'm saying is that
Yeah.
there's a particular container, like the way I have the layout of my website, right? If I have two columns, if I have
Uh,
three columns, let me try and present something so that I understand what you're saying. So I'll try and present so that to make it more practical, like practical to you. I'm coming. You can stop sharing now.
okay.
Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Good, right? So can you see margin is meant for anything you want to shift on the outside space. The border is what, like the environment around the content, right? Then padding is when you are dealing with the inside shifting, right? You want to shift anything in the inside, right? And obviously you have top, left, right, and bottom. Same thing as the margin. You have the top, you have the left, you have the right, and the bottom, right? So if you want to do anything that has to do with the bottom shifting, you do what? You marginalize it to the bottom side. And what it means is that it's going to shift the box, whatever box you have created, because what you are doing in that side is that you have already created a div container, right? And that div element, what you are telling the div container is that I want to shift you downward a little bit, right? It might not be even container. It might be just a text, like just a normal text or image. It can be an image, yes. It can be an image that you want to do a padding to or a margin down to, right? All you have to do is that you will have referenced that image the same way you have done it for the div, right? The same way you have done it for the div. You would have referenced it that, okay, this particular image, I
Video.
want to shift downward. I want to shift it to the left. I want it to shift. I want
Hello?
it to. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you please pause the video, the sharing screen? Like, yeah, I can hear you,
Okay,
but the screen that you're sharing is a bit noisier than your voice.
okay. Like it's a bit what?
Higher in noise, but like, can you
Noise.
pause it
Okay,
for
it's
a
making
bit so that you
noise.
can explain better? Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. No, I don't think it's the video. Maybe it's another noise from the background.
Yeah, it will be. I don't think it's the video because it's the video, the screen share is just a picture or a web page. It
Yeah.
does not have volume. It does not have audio to it.
Oh, you're hearing another sound that I can't. Is there any other sound?
E- yes. Like, I'm just hearing you're just explaining on the margin border padding content stuff. So I can't get
Okay.
what you are explaining from your own end.
Okay, okay, like you didn't get it clearer, like you didn't get what I'm
Ye-
explaining to you or what?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me break it down like this, right? Okay. Do you know how to form a container?
From a container. How do I do that,
Like
sir?
to create a container, like that module 4.2 is actually meant for what's it called? For structuring your content into different layouts, right? If you remember that model, the model that says the box model that creates two container in the main elements. Do you remember that part? Let me go to the document itself.
All right.
Or you know what would happen? You go to that video yourself, then let's start it from that video so that I'll just break it down. See, I don't think you understand the content, because if you understand it, you'll have gotten what I'm saying. Um,
Okay.
this is, let me just present the 4.2. I'm coming, let me find it out. So you understand creating main area, creating footer area, creating header area. Do you understand that one?
Hello, sir.
I said, do you understand the part that you create a header area, the main area, and the footer area? Do you understand that part? Do you know that the whole HTML is divided into 3 main parts? The header section, the main section, and the footer section. Do you understand that part? Okay, good. Do you get my question? Hello?
Hello?
Are you here?
No, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
I said, do
Yeah,
you
yeah, I can hear
understand
you
the
now.
module? Can you hear me now?
Hello? My network, I think it's bad.
Coach, I think you can continue. We're recording the video, so he can always go back and watch the video for the sake of
Okay.
other people's time and your time as
Okay.
well.
So I'm presenting the module 4 now. So I'll just go through it again so that you can understand what this module 4 is all about, right? It's all about the page layout and the design principles, right? And when you're talking about the design principle and the page layout, what it means is that you have to create an header area for your page, like the first page you are creating. Like, let's say you are creating an about us page, you are creating a contact page, you are creating any page whatsoever, right? You need to start with the header section. And I told you the header section is made up of what? The logo and the menu side, right? Now the logo and the menu side, how do you create that, right? That one has been discussed, I think, in module 3, right? So now I call something wireframing, right? That there's no how you want to develop your page that you not do a wireframe of the page, right? So if you are going to do the wire, now to your question, the wireframe that has to do with the content grid, right? The model is called the box model. The box model means that you can divide your content area, which is your main area, the content side, after the header, after the hero section, then you follow by the content section, then the last section is called footer. The content section, you can divide it into different boxes, right? So you can divide it into 2 or 3, or sometimes some people just have 1, depending on how you want your whole wireframe structured of your website to be, right? So how do you come up with a wireframe? I think I explained that in that video too also, that it's just you're part of being creative, right? You sitting down just looking at several websites that people have built and just coming up with your own structure of this is how I want my frame to be, like my structure, my page layout to be. And I made reference to you getting into new apartments, you trying to get, okay, where do I put my freezer? Where do I put my television? Where do I put my fan? It's the same thing, the same idea that is happening to websites, right? Where do I put my logo? Where do I put my menu? Some people put their menu downwards, so depending on how you want your website to be structured, right? So, and that your question is speaking to content area alone. That's the only place you can be doing all those things, right? And also you can do all those things in hero section, right? But I don't want to relate it to hero section right now because you have not gotten to that stage, right? So that's why I limited it to the content section alone, where you create 3 boxes. And that's where you create that div that you saw in that code. That's what that div is doing. The div is meant to create the containers for you. These containers that you are seeing, these 3 containers, right, is meant to create those containers for you. Now, when you create a first container, div, right? When you create the first container, the container is helping you to do what? To create a box model, like a box structure, right? Like a structure, the same way you're looking at it like this. This box here, you can see. It's helping you to create the box. And when you create the box, I mentioned something that the top part, the outside part, is called the margin. The inner part, which is this inner that you can see, this side that this arrow is the what? Is the padding, right? This outside part is the margin side. The down part, this inside one, is the margin. And this thing that you are seeing around it, this dot that you can see around it, is called the border, right? It's called the border. So now the padding either is going to go left. The reason why you are padding is simply because you want to shift those boxes so that they can be arranged, right? Because when you create them, they are not going to be arranged in like very well. So you have to arrange them with those code that you are seeing. So if you want to arrange them, it means that you are trying to shift them from one position to other. It's just like being in your house. Your chair might be facing downwards and you just want to shift it upward. It's the same thing. The same what's it called? The same sense that applies to all these things, right? So if you are shifting outside, you use margin. If you are shifting inside, you use padding. So if you are shifting outside to the left, that's margin left. If you are shifting outside to the right, that's margin right. If you are shifting outside to the top, that's margin top. If you are shifting outside to the downward, that's margin bottom. Now, to the padding, that's inside the box. If you are shifting anything inside the box, most especially, what is inside the box is the text, like the contents, right? Because you don't just create a box. You can create a box and then apply a color to the box, like I did in that video. You apply a color to that box. When you apply the color to that div, because when you are talking about box, you are talking about the div container, right? When you apply a color to it, the whole background of the entire box will change. Now, you are talking about the box. Now, what is going to be inside that box is a content, is a text, right? Now, that text, if you want to move it around because it's inside, you cannot use margin for it. You have to use what? Padding. So the padding to the top is when you shift the text that is inside the box to the top part. The padding to the bottom is when you shift that text inside that box to the downside. Then the padding to the right is when you shift that text to the right, to the left-hand side. Then the padding to the right is when you shift that text inside that box to the right-hand side. So that's what that thing is doing. And those values that you are seeing inside that padding, because there's no how you give something an attribute. All those things is an attribute, like I told you. Padding top, padding something, padding, margin something, all those things that you are saying, they are all attributes. You give them a value. You give them a value. Because there's no how you say, okay, I want to move this text to the left. By what value? Do you understand? It's just like being a tailor now or a designer. You want to cut something from 1 to 1. You have to measure it, right? So if you're going to move it to the left, you just use your initiative. You just put it, okay, let me give it 30 pixels. Let me see how it's going to move. If you check the video, you see how I was applying those values to it and it was moving, right? It's just to show you how you can move things around. So if you do margin padding top to the left, and you give it 60 pixels, you see that it will move from the left hand side and it will shift the text to the right, right? And if you do padding to the right by 100 pixels, it will move it from that right to the left hand side. You just see it shifting, based on the value you are giving it. You understand? Depending on how you want to arrange those elements, right? So that's simply what padding top or margin. You didn't mention margin, but I just decided to touch that margin so that you can understand that those values and those things are not just staying there. They are doing something. They are helping you to shift your element, which is your div container, from one place to another, right? And there's no how you want to talk about your container that you're not talking about your margin and your padding, because what moves on the outside part is the margin, and what moves inside that box is the padding. If you go and do a margin top to something that is inside, it will never move. Nothing will happen. So you have to use padding, the right criteria, the attributes for it to move it, right? So I don't know if you understand better like that. To understand it better, you just have to go to that resource that I shared to you. That resource I shared to you is very explanatory enough for you to, dance around those padding. Like I used to call it to people. We used to play with margin top, margin down. The more you can do that margin top, margin down, padding top, padding, padding bottom, the more you can play with CSS a lot, right? It's so fun, right? It's so fun, and I don't want to go too deep into it because I just want to see someone coming up with how to play with those elements, right, around those boxes, right? So just look at the resource very well. Go to the resources I shared to you, right, and dance around those padding. Like now, for example, let me share you something. Let me share this tab. This CSS padding, yeah. If you go in that resource, you see something called CSS padding, right? Here you can see them giving their div. You can see background color, obviously the background of the box, right? They give it light blue. You can see where they give their background color, they give it light blue, right? You can see the content inside. Obviously, this is the content inside. This content is just copy and paste content, like I told I forgot your name.
Emeka.
Shit. Why did I?
Emeka.
Yes, like I told you, yeah. So it's just something that we just copy and paste. You can write anything here, right? You can write like now your name, right? You can write your name. So it's just to put a content inside those box, right? Just to put the content inside the box. You understand? So now you can see that the div is only where, can you see that it's not applicable to using individual properties? Because that is outside the div. If I bring this now inside the div container, if I bring it inside the div container and apply it, it's going to be within the box. Can you see? But because it's outside, it, so it's going to stay outside. It's going to stay outside, right? So that's it. So this entire thing, this border you can see, is the border around the box, the div you created, right? It's the border around the div you created. And the content inside the container is this, our name that I wrote, right? Can you see? It's only our name that is there. Then they styled the background color of their div, which is this light blue. Then they said margin right 30 pixel. What they are saying is that the content inside moved from the right by what? 30 pixel. If I put 130 here, you will see how it will drag itself. It has already moved already. I'm coming. Let me try to do 180 for hair. Can you see? So because padding right has already been dragged already, because it's coming from the right, it has already been dragged to this extent. So it cannot move again, right? So, but if you still do padding left, it's still going to go because the distance from here to the left is not that much. So that's why it's in. So if I reduce it to, let's say 10, it's going to start from the beginning of this left-hand side now. Can you see? It's going to start from this beginning, right? So if I do it again, like do, let's say 190 to go back to that position, almost in the middle. Can you see? Sure you get. So let's say I did this to be 90. Yeah. And I did this padding right. It might not move because it's already at the edge of the right already. So but I'll just give you the bigger number to see how. Can you see? The reason why you can see that something happened here. Can you see? See the long length of the right?
Yes.
Before it was it was on 80. It was on 80. Let me run it. This, can you see? So because this box has his own limits, right? Like I told you, if you want to run a web layout that's supposed to be a PC size, there's a size, right? If you want to run a web layout that is supposed to be a mobile size, there's a size for it. So you don't go within that size, even if anything that you are doing, right? So within this size, this is the size of the entire container, right? This is the size of the entire container. Now, this size of the entire container, if you go and move it more than the size, right, it's going to drag the container to wherever you are dragging it to. That's why you see that when we give it 180, it was still within the length. It will not move. But when you give it something like 280, you might see a little bit difference. It's going on, but you will not see it. But let's give it like, let's say 480. Can you see? Can you
Yes.
see?
Yeah.
So padding rights might not be necessary in this. So you just give it a normal value and let it stay. So, but because you want to move this content to the center, you want to make it center. Now you just think about it that, okay, if I want to make it to be in the center, then the best thing to do in this part is to pad it by the left-hand side. Do you understand? So if I give it 180, 190 now, to drop it to the center. So you have done a good justice to the padding. So now, no matter what you do, if you set margin or something to it, it will not move anything in this container, because padding is meant to be what? For anything within. See this bottom now? If I give it 250, right? Let's run it. Can you see? It drags it to the down. Can you see?
Yes.
So that's how it works. So it's just how you can use your play around your, shifting. What it's just doing basically is shifting. Let me just call it like that. It's shifting your content from one place to another. And if you want to drag this O box down, you now use margin, right? You now use margin.
Yeah.
Use your margin. You can say margin top. Give it value. You can give it 300 pixel, and then close. Can you see? Can you see? So it drags it from the top downward. So you want to look at this center part now, because margin is meant to do it from the outside. Like I told you, padding is meant to do it from the inside. Anything you put inside that box, you understand? So that's why I'm repeating it like this, so that you don't get confused later, right? So if I give it 100, it's going to take it to the middle a little bit, yeah? Do you understand? So it's just shifting it from this using whatever, you drag it down because you said margin top. So if I say margin, because I say margin top, if I say margin bottom, right? You see it just move a little. Can you see? So it has dragged it a little bit from the downward upward. Sure, you get.
Yeah.
So that's what this thing is doing. I hope you understand now very well, right?
Yes, it's explanatory. I understand. Thanks so much.
So you can play with it, play with the elements. Try and, in fact, see, the best way to learn how to code, how to build good softwares, is when you get yourself locked in mistakes. I used to tell people, if you don't make mistake when writing your code, you are not on the way at all. You are not on the way. You have to be confused. When you get confused, you stay locked inside your confusion, and you're finding solution within that box. It might take you 5 days, it might take you 4 days. I can guarantee you, when you find the solution, you are just stepping to the journey to become a pro. The more you get problems, the more you get it solved, the more you become a professional. That's just it. There's no, but if you are just writing it and it's just working for you, probably people will not tell themselves the truth, because most times if you write code and it's working for you just seamlessly, it means you are copying somebody's code from somewhere. You get there's some people like that, right? When learning, they don't want to waste their time. They are just copying. They understand it, right? I'm not disputing the fact that it's not good to copy code sometimes, right? But for a beginner, right, like it's not good for you to be copying code and be pasting, because you just feel like, I think this will solve it, so let me just paste it. No, because with that, you are just deceiving yourself, right? When the time comes from problems to come, when they tell you to come and debug something, right? you will not be able to debug it because you don't have that troubleshooting skill. And that's the major skill you need in software development, right? If you don't have that troubleshooting skill, it's zero, because there must be a bug. You cannot run from it, right? And bugs are errors. There must be a bug. And the more you solve bug problem, like the one you said now, right, that you don't understand what those padding are doing, is part of just understanding how error can be solved. Because if you don't understand what it's doing there, how do you want to solve it? Do you understand? You need to understand what that thing is doing first. Why is it there, right? Before you can say, okay, I think I understand this problem. Maybe somebody just come to you and say, I need this thing, this box to come a little bit down. And you're just looking at everything like, okay, what is this thing, this there? But because you understand that, okay, for it to be there at this center, and you want to move it a little bit down, you understand that, okay, it is the value for the padding bottom that you need to edit. It is the value for the padding top that you need to edit, and you just go there and do it, edit, and that's voila. People just see you that you are creating magic. You say, boss, you understand? So that's how it is. So I hope I've been able to do it right justice. I hope we are still within the time. I have passed the time. Yeah. So any other question? Let's take one more from anyone. Yeah. Eunice is raising up her hands. Okay, fly, Eunice. Yeah. Eunice, you can talk. Eunice, you can talk. I can see your hands. Can somebody hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, what about the girl? I saw her. Okay, the precious girl. Is she here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so let me treat your concerns right now. Yeah. So what are your concerns, right? Because I see you, dropping some things which I don't understand, right? I won't lie. But I need to understand it clearly. I need to understand it clearly.
Okay.
So can you please shoot?
My problem was
We have 15 minutes left. Yeah. Yeah.
okay. My problem was I was having issues with from creating my website and all the rest, but at the long run I've been able to achieve. I'm in module 3 now. I've not covered the whole modules, though I've gone through all of them, but I'm trying to go back again so that I can create something. So like my question would normally come out from that module 4, but for now I'm still on the process. Like the ones you've been able to attend to, I've been able to cover them and grab what I want to get.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just give you this one advice, right? So
Okay.
I want you to take it more. I don't know how busy you are, right? But I would like you to don't take it too hard on yourself, maybe the speed and all of that, right? And don't be too overwhelmed by it, right? Just take it easy, right? It doesn't matter the length of time you use to write your code, right? Or maybe you want to catch up in speed and all of that. Yeah, I get, but don't take it too hard, right? Digest it, right? Understand each video, right? Before you try to conclude on it, right? Because understanding matters. If you don't understand what you're learning, right, you just be in confusion, and you'll now be overwhelmed by a lot of stuff, right? If you can digest module 1 between day 1 to day 3, if that is what you feel like in terms of the practical aspect, go over it. Yes, go over it. right? It's just that the time space might not be good, but you just have to make sure that you read through all the theory parts, right? But if it is about the practical, you want to get it clear, right? You can still go over it over and over again, right? And just give it time, right? Give it time to process. If you cannot process it faster, it's
But
fine.
another
I
problem
understand.
I'm having is, yeah, I do. Another problem I'm having is that resource file that you dropped. I've tried to
Yeah.
open it countless times, but it's not opening my phone.
On your what?
It's not open. I tried to open it on my phone. It's not opening. I tried to open it on my
It's not going
laptop.
to
It's not.
open on your phone. It's not going
It's
to
not open.
open on
Even
your
in my
phone.
laptop. Even in my laptop.
Okay,
I've
this
tried.
is it. Do you have, can you hear me? Just chill.
I
Do you have a WinRAR software?
the
Do you have a WinRAR software on your system?
no, I don't.
So you have to download a software called an extraction software. An example is WinRAR. So what you do is that go to your PC right now. I will send you a link to download WinRAR software, right?
Okay.
Download that software. Until when you install that software, that's when you can extract what I sent to you. Do you understand?
I
And
do.
do you have anybody good with system at your place?
But they're not around
Hello?
right now. I can hear you.
Okay.
They're not around right now.
So I'm saying,
Currently.
okay. I will have said they should, anybody good with system, you understand what I'm saying. So you can just download the software. I'm sending the software link now I'm sending it to the chat so you can copy it from there and download that software. If you don't download that software, you cannot extract it. It's a zipped file.
Okay.
So you are supposed to extract it to become a folder. So when you extract it to become a folder, that's when you can follow the instruction I give on that group, right? So
Okay, sir.
pardon me for not, I didn't know that you don't understand it. So, but yeah. So that's it.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'm good.
Coach, I just wanted to add that for the zip file, for those using MacBook, they don't need to download the software because it's automatically
Okay. Yeah,
encrypted.
exactly. Okay. Am I good to go?
No, wait. When I wanted to ask I had troubles with my internet, so the call dropped.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yes. I wanted to ask, does the way we structure our HTML affect the performance of our website and the loading speed? For example, if I put more images and more links, does it affect my website's performance or it's okay?
Okay. What a good question. I like that. So, yes, it affects and it does not affect. So it affects in the sense that this is how website works. Like that's why I introduced that how website works in the first module. When you type your URL, which is attached to your website files in your server, the first thing it does is it sends a response, like it sends a request to the server telling you that, you know what, all the files that is inside that storage, I need it right now. Now, what the browser interprets is that, okay, I'll give you all the files that is inside the server. I'm coming with the server, just wait for me. Now, at that point, you see your browser doing this rolling, loading. Now, when it's doing that loading, you see that loading that it's doing. It's a form of effect to tell you that I'm counting how many files that is inside the server that you requested for all the files. Now, I've seen the CSS folder inside the server. I've seen some files like about us, index, blah, blah, and all of that. And it's reading everything in bytes. As it's reading everything in bytes, right? And as it's reading everything in bytes, it's actually calculating how many kilobytes how many meg that all these files that is reading as it is doing it, is calculating it. Now, by the time it calculates everything, that's time you are using, that you are seeing that everything is rolling. As it's calculating it, is now trying to get the speed accuracy, like the speed time, that is using, right? At that moment, it's calculating the speed time, it's calculating the hours, the seconds, blah blah blah. So you see the speed time now is affected by the number of files you put inside your web folder that's inside that server. So if your web folder has just one or two in the maybe one or two pages, right? Obviously, it will affect the speed time, right? Because it just takes it to read how many files? 2 files. So obviously, it's going to affect the speed time. Now, this is where your internet work comes through. If your internet is now slow, just imagine your internet is being slow. I'll just use this as an example. It's just like you going to you want like all these villages now. I don't know if you have a good a good knowledge about villages, right? Villages, you want to some people want to go and fetch water in the village, right? And before they go and fetch water in the village, it takes them a lot of wala inside the bush to go and get it. If the road is faster to the river, obviously they will get there faster. But if the road is very bad, obviously they will get there very stressed, and in fact, to carry the water might be stressful for them to get back home. So it's the same thing. So if your internet is bad, obviously it will take it lesser time. It will take it a more longer time for it to now calculate those files. So that's why we don't even calculate the speed of a website when the internet is bad. It's a poor way to test a website, right? You don't test a website when the internet is bad, because that's not a good time to test it, because you will never get the accurate what's it called speed time of your website. You never get it. So because now if you have a faster internet, now you are not meant to do that speed test, right? And that speed test will now calculate how many files you have. If the files are not too much, obviously it's going to be faster. And the images that you store inside that web folder, if they are not too big, like for example, now we normally advise people to store images in what's it called, PNG formats that are lesser than maybe like 200 kilobytes, like that kind of stuff, right? Because by the time you have your images aligned in kilobytes like that, it will take it very faster space for it to random to quickly calculate its size. But imagine your images being in 1 meg, before you can before your images are too big, right? By the time it brings out the response, obviously it is going to affect the the speed time for it to come back. Do you understand? So I'm just trying to dissect this thing so that you can understand how website is thinking, and how the files that you are putting in your web files must be well compressed for you to have a good loading time for your website. Do you understand? So I've tried to break it down in the aspect of the server, right? I've tried to break it down in the aspect of the browser too, right? Even the server you are using, right? The server you're using, it is very important you have a good server. If you don't have a good server too, that can affect the speed at which you can request for files from the server. Yes, it can affect it. So it's just always good to have a good server. Make sure that the images inside your web folders are not too big. Just make sure that you have them compressed as good as possible. Compress it to like kilobyte, not meg, right? Not megabytes, so that it will be easy for the browser to quickly respond back with your web pages. I don't know if all these things answer your question.
Yes, they did. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah. So, are we good? Is there any other question? I think we have 3 minutes more. I was thinking that you wanted to say, Eunice, I was thinking that you wanted to say maybe the way you structure your code before, but since you went to the line of device, so yeah, so I wanted to say the if you structure your code, the way you structure your code, right? It doesn't matter actually. Like if you structure your code anyhow, because I made mention of something in the video, but it will matter if you're working in a very good company. I mean those companies that they have compliance protocols, right? They check everything you write. So your code will not pass through the checks if you don't align your code very well. Like, I mean, if you don't write it in a well, structured manner. I mean, like I explained something inside that HTML, that module 2. There's a way you write your code that makes it well structured. Like when you are linking your CSS, you don't link it inside your HTML. You link it separate and link it externally, right? Some people will link it inside and it is fine. It will work, but it's not a good way of writing code, right? There's some codes you write after writing it and the code will work. It doesn't mean that the code will not give you a good result. No, it just won't check in some complaints that, like, let's say Facebook employ you as being their developer, or let's say Google employs you. Those complaints go before your code pass through, before your code go through the proper channel to push live, right? It pass through some checks, right? Some quality assurance check. So those codes, if they don't pass through that check, if it's not well structured from the beginner aspect right now, if you don't learn how to write your code in a way that it's going to be clean, and those are one of the things I will be checking in your mini project. I want to see how clean your code is. Like, I want to see how well structured. In fact, I'm giving you a expo like this. I'm not supposed to say this, but it's fine. It's fine. So I want to see how, how well structured you can write your code, in a way that it is readable and it understand. It's not like I need to rack my head before I say, what is this person writing? You put div class here, you put something here, you just dabber everything. Oh God, my head is swelling already. So I don't want that, right? I want something that is well arranged, well properly structured, and that's it. So that was what I thought you wanted to ask the other time, but it's fine. Yeah. So I think with this we come to the end of this section, wonderful section. It's good to meet you guys, and I wish you guys a good I don't want to say a easy free coding weekend, but in fact, I want you guys to make a lot of mistakes. I want you guys to make a lot of mistakes. Don't make it easy for yourself on the code. Try and make a lot of mistakes, right? And this is what makes coding interesting. This is what makes coding interesting. In fact, if you can submit errors, I loved it. I like it like that. Like, submit errors. Let me see your error. Because with errors, you are curious and you are wondering what is happening. Do you understand? And with that, you can know that, okay, this is the problem to the solution, right? So, and if you can get it easy too, it's fine. It means that you understand it better, right? So, yeah. So, wishing you a good night and have a lovely weekend. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you so much, Coach Ruth. We really appreciate.
Thanks so much, boss.